Hey! Where's my tattoo? Xiao Yu lifted her sleeves and looked at her two white and tender arms in surprise. Before, his arms were tattooed with two aggressive green dragons. It was tattooed by the most famous ghost handmaster. Why? It's all gone. Xiao Yu raised her head and found that she was sitting in a brightly lit office, with small partitions in front, back, left and right. At the moment, the telephone kept ringing, paper documents were flying everywhere, and more than a dozen office workers were shuttling around the hall, all in a state of anxiety. Attention, attention, come and concentrate. At this time, a middle-aged man in a brown jacket came quickly and greeted the people. Group leader Chu Ping now tells you about the case of electric stick rape. We're going to take action tonight. Listen. Someone quickly pulled over a whiteboard, which was full of words and pasted with several photos. Hearing the greeting, many staff quickly gathered around, casually pulled a chair, sat in front of the whiteboard and listened carefully. Xiao Yu did not move, but still sat in her seat. At the moment, he was still in great shock. He touched his right ear, but it was intact. Previously, his right ear was split in half by a small gangster in a fight. Xiao Yu wanted to look in a mirror to see her face, but suddenly she saw a picture on her desk. As like as two peas in a picture, a handsome young man in police uniform looks exactly like himself. Grandma is a bear. Startled, strange memories poured into his mind like the flood of the Yellow River. Xiao Yu gradually realized that. Did he encounter the legendary crossing? Xiao Yuqingshu remembers that he was the gold medal thug of the Qinglong gang, a ruffian king who didn't fight to death. Although his real name is Xiao Yu, people in the Jianghu prefer to call him Xiao Tianba. Before. Grandma is a bear. Xiao Yu was shocked again. He finally remembered that before that, he had been executed by drug injection. He clearly remembered that when the medicine slowly entered his body, in order to alleviate his fear, he had been reciting those famous words in his heart, like his head fell off a bowl and a big scar. 20 years later, I will still be a hero. But, Red. Why did you come here? Did I really cross? And it's still seamless. It's no use reincarnation at all? With the influx of new memories, he was surprised to find that this is a parallel world similar to that before, and his current identity is an agent of the motor team of the Serious Crime Unit. He is actually a policeman. The hall where he is now is not elsewhere, but the office of the police station. Grandma is a bear. Xiao Yu can't believe her eyes. This huge contrast is unimaginable. A senior ruffian turned himself into an agent of the serious crime team. Where can I reason? He subconsciously touched his head. In the past, because he had been cut off several times on his head and his hair was always uneven, he simply had a big bald head, just like a ferocious spirit. But now he has elegant black hair and looks like a handsome young man. Dear colleagues, since the 12th of this month, there have been 3 cases of electric stick rape in our city. At the moment, a female agent with short hair and big eyes is telling the case for the public. Xiao Yu quickly found the information of the agent from her memory. She is the leader of Group B of the serious case team. Although she is young, she has a steady style and a high rate of solving cases. She is a popular person in front of the leaders. Generally, she will preside over any major case requiring the cooperation of the whole team. The victims are all young women dressed up beautifully, and they all have bad lifestyle problems. Group leader Chu Ping said, most of the places where the incident occurred were near bars, singing halls and other weathered places, and the time of the crime was after midnight. According to the victim's confession, the perpetrator first followed the victim into the unmanned roadway, then corona him with an electric stick, and then committed rape. After committing the crime, the criminal will still pee on the victim. Hearing the word pee, the scene was quiet. From the urine test, Chu Ping continued, "We have confirmed that the 3 electric baton cases were committed by the same criminal. In addition, the 3rd victim woke up on the way, struggled and broke the murderer's face. We have obtained the blood sample of the criminal." Group leader Chu Ping was talking about the case in front of the whiteboard. The middle-aged man in a jacket suddenly turned his head and waved to Xiao Yu. "Hey, Xiao Xiao, we must stay up late tonight. Go and make us some coffee and refresh ourselves." Xiao Yu took a look. This person is Lu Changhu, vice captain of the mobile team of the serious case team. During Xiao Yu's internship, this person did not send a few branches of Xiao Yu. He asked him to send letters and pour tea every day, just like ordering people. In this world, Xiao Yu is not a ruffian king, but a big boy with weak character. He has just finished his internship and turned into a regular police officer. Not only Lu Changhu, but also many senior colleagues will make fun of him and arrange him some jobs that should not belong to him. "Hello! Go!" Seeing that Xiao Yu didn't respond, Lu Changhu drank with a black face. "Do you hear me? What are you doing?" Xiao Yu is not a soft persimmon now. How can he stand being yelled at? As soon as he patted the table, he stood up. His sudden rise startled Lu Changhu, and even group leader Chu Ping had to pause. I'll come. Who knows, just when everyone looked at Xiao Yu, a silver bell-like female voice suddenly grabbed Xiao Yu's head. A girl with a ponytail, a little fat body and big glasses appeared in front of everyone. The girl is a newly assigned intern clerk from the Serious Crime Unit. Her name is Li Bainey. The girl is a flower maniac. She fell in love with Xiao Yu within a month. Although Xiao Yu is weak and often bullied, she looks like a talented person. She is 7 or 8 meters tall. She is young and handsome. She really has a certain lethality to the opposite sex. At the moment, seeing her sweetheart being shouted, Li Bainey hurried forward to rescue. "Captain Lu, I'll come. I'm still in my internship. I'll do these jobs naturally." With that, Li Bainey smiled at Xiao Yu and ran to the tea room in the hall to make coffee. Lu Changhu stared at Xiao Yu angrily, and then turned back. Xiao Yu also had a bad attack. She had to sit down again and continue to think about her crossing. Although he crossed, his memory was very clear, because just a few minutes ago he was still lying on the execution lounge chair. In his previous life, he was sentenced to death for murder. However, Xiao Yu knew that he was framed and didn't kill at all. The man who was killed was the boss of a real estate group. Xiao Yu just beat him according to the instructions of his superiors. It was impossible to die at all. Besides, even if you are beaten to death, it is also a manslaughter and should not be sentenced to murder. Therefore, his death penalty is a conspiracy of others. Thinking of these, Xiao Yu couldn't help getting angry and clenching her fist. If you can find the person who framed you in the future, you must let them double their repayment. At this time, Li Bainey had made coffee and distributed a cup to each of her colleagues present. The little girl's face has always been filled with enthusiasm. Every time she gives a cup, she will kindly encourage words such as hard work and come on, which has won the favor of her colleagues. Finally, she came to Xiao Yu, winked at Xiao Yu, put the last cup of coffee in front of him, and whispered, "Officer Xiao, there are 2 packets of sugar in this cup. It's destined to be learned tonight. You have to hold on." Before Xiao Yu could react, Li Bainey put the plate happily. At this time, Leader Chu Ping has finished talking about the case, and Leader Jin Jinbang of the serious case team will speak. Captain Jin is over 50 years old. His temples are gray. He is an old man who doesn't laugh and works very seriously. In short, let's work hard. Captain Jean said loudly, there have been 3 electric stick cases, and another one will be characterized as a serial event. Not only the top, we can't wear this big hat. So, everyone cheer up and try to solve this case in the shortest time. Well. Group A sent someone to investigate the crime scene. Since the perpetrator was the murderer who followed the victim, he must have appeared in the bar and concert hall where the victim was before. Transfer out all the monitoring there and find this person. Also, the monitoring of the surrounding stores and the dash cam can't be let go. Yes. Group B, you are mainly responsible for evidence comparison. Captain Jean ordered, the criminal has no criminal record, and the bloodline can't go through. However, the criminal's urine is an important clue. Although the police can't find a match, you can go to the hospital or physical examination center for inspection and comparison. As long as this person has had a physical examination or lived in the hospital, he will be able to find him. Yes. In addition, the electric baton used by the criminal, the mobile phone signal on the scene and the only victim who has seen the criminal's appearance can't be ignored. All these clues should be followed up. Yes. Well, let's arrange the action plan. If there's no problem, let's start as soon as possible. After talking, Captain Jean closed his folder and was about to turn around and leave. Who knows, just then, a discordant voice suddenly sounded. Wait a minute, I have a problem. When they looked back, they found that the speaker was none other than Zhao Yu. Captain Jean was also stunned and hurriedly asked, What's the matter, Zhao Yu? What's your problem? Me. Zhao Yu pointed to her forehead and said confidently, I'm not feeling well. Go home first. Play by yourself.
Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please support us. Please support us. Please support us.
Zhao Yu's words immediately plunged the whole office hall into silence. The agents who were preparing for a big fight were all stunned and looked at Zhao Yu with incredible eyes. In their opinion, there may be something wrong with Zhao Yu. Captain Jean is the leader of the mobile team of the whole serious case team. It's ready to go. You suddenly say you want to ask for leave, and it's reasonable to say so. It's really not eye-opening. In fact, even if it is really urgent, you don't have to ask Captain Jean for instructions. Generally, you can solve it by accommodating with the team leader. It's no different from deliberately provoking Zhao Yu to stand up and ask for leave with the captain. Sure enough, hearing Zhao Yu's discordant voice, Captain Jean immediately sank his face. Hey. I said. At this moment, Vice Captain Lu Changhu was reasonable. He tilted his neck and shouted at Zhao Yu, are you going crazy? Just became a full-time employee. Is it bullish? Don't you see that everyone is trying to catch criminals? Can you live up to your conscience if you ask for leave at this time? When Vice Captain Lu said so, other team members also came to fight against injustice and criticized Zhao Yu. Captain Kim shook his head very displeased and turned away from the hall. Look. After Captain Jean left, Vice Captain Lu became more energetic. He pointed to Zhao Yu's nose and sneered, Zhao Yu, your boy is too blind. Why do you have to ask for leave if you are uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? Do you want some brothers to buy you a bag of sanitary napkins? Vice Captain Lu's words became more and more ugly, which made his colleagues laugh. However, in the laughter of the crowd, Zhao Yu grabbed the cup full of coffee and threw it directly at Lu Changhu's head. Lu Changhu was surprised and quickly reached out to block it. Although he blocked the glass, the hot coffee poured all over him. Wow. The glass fell to the ground and broke to pieces. Zhao Yu, are you crazy? Lu Chenghu was so angry that he just wanted to point at Zhao Yu and scold him. Zhao Yu, like a wild beast, roared and rushed to Lu Chenghu, hit him with his shoulder, and knocked him out. Lu Chenghu's back bumped into the whiteboard for explanation, and the bones of the whiteboard rolled out a long way. "I'll fuck your grandmother, dead cop." Zhao Yu pointed to Lu Chenghu's nose and scolded, "Lu, I've endured you for a long time. In my eyes, you are a piece of shit. Don't you like coffee? Well, have you had enough?" Zhao Yu's sudden outburst made the agents at the scene numb. No one can imagine how the docile Zhao Yu could become so manic. "Zhao Yu, you madman." As the vice captain of the serious case team, where did Lu Chenghu suffer such anger? He got up with a red face and wanted to fight with Zhao Yu. Zhao Yunai is a gold medal fighter. If he is afraid of such a scene, he will fight with him. At this time, the other agents couldn't see it anymore. They hurried forward to persuade them to quarrel. However, these people all want to please the vice captain, want to make Zhao Yu live, and then ask the vice captain to punch him, so as to find some face. However, to their surprise, Zhao Yu's strength was unimaginable. As soon as he shook his arm, he threw all these strong agents aside. Someone even knocked over a partition, and even the computer fell to the ground and the monitor cracked. For a time, the office was in a mess. Group leader Chu Ping also ran to persuade the quarrel, while Li Baini hurriedly ran to Zhao Yu. "Dead cops." Zhao Yu Bao drank, pointed to the crowd and scolded, "You didn't arrange Lao Tzu less before. I remember everything here. I warn you, who dares to touch me again? Don't blame me for my ruthlessness and black hands." Zhao Yu's fury scared Li Baini to stay in place, and many agents were also vaguely frightened. No one could figure out how Zhao Yu, who was soft and weak, could become so manic on weekdays. Zhao Yu. Lu Chang was so angry that his lips trembled, "I think you don't want to do it. Who is so rare?" Zhao Yu stared at his round eyes and shouted disdainfully, "Return to the serious case group. I ba. Let me be a cop, I can't afford to lose this man." With that, Zhao Yu lifted her sleeve, whistled and swaggered out of the office. When he went out, he deliberately slammed the anti-theft door, shaking the ground for several times. He went out for a long time before someone said weakly, "Did Zhao Yu take the wrong medicine? Does any policeman call himself a cop?" Yes. How can such a docile person become like this? Like a ruffian. Zhao Yu. Captain Lu was so angry that he trembled all over, bit his teeth and roared, "Give it to me, wait." After making a big noise in the police station, Zhao Yu's heart was a little happier, but the doubt in her mind was not reduced at all. He doesn't know why he crossed into this parallel world? Also, what happened to Zhao Yu, who was occupied by him? In this case, is it a loss or rebirth? The new memory tells him that Zhao Yu in this world is the same as her own origin. Her hometown is in the countryside, her parents are old and her family is poor. The starting point of the two, as like as two peas, is identical, but only after growing up, they are heading for a completely contradictory life path. One chose to wander in the Jianghu and became a hooligan. The other was admitted to the public security university with excellent results and became a glorious people's police. It's ironic that he used to be chased around by the police. Now his identity has reversed and he has become a policeman? Am I going to catch Gu Hunzi with a pistol in the future? With this in mind, Zhao Yu had to carefully consider her future. Since she had crossed, what should I do? Leave the police force and go back to business? Or stay in the police force and make a living? After thinking about it, Zhao Yu quickly made a wise decision. Grandma is a bear. In order to celebrate the success of Lao Zi's journey, let's have fun first. Before he was executed, he had been in prison for 2 years and had not opened a meat drive for a long time. Now I'm not hungry, but I have great physiological needs. Therefore, Zhao Yu reached out to stop a taxi and planned to go to a red light district of the city to be natural and unrestrained to solve physiological problems. I'll think about other things later. When the car started, Zhao Yu saw a pack of cigarettes next to the driver and didn't ask if others were happy. He stretched out his hand and copied the cigarette, took out one and held it in his mouth. The driver was very witty and took out a lighter and handed it to Zhao Yu. Zhao Yu lit a cigarette, but only took one puff, but coughed violently like choking. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. It makes Zhao Yu's lungs spew out. How uncomfortable it is. Grandma is a bear. Zhao Yu scolded from her heart. Can't Zhao Yu in this world even smoke? Who knows, just when he thought of it, there was an earthquake buzzing in his head, followed by a clear, loud, male and female voice. The adventure system started successfully, and he is randomly choosing divination for you. What's the matter? Zhao Yu asked the driver, but it can be seen from the driver's innocent expression that he didn't know anything at all. Zhao Yu realized that only he could hear the voice just now, Zhen Dugua. The voice in his head is concise and powerful, Zhen Shan Duz. With the mountain dew, the air is smooth, and the 5 veins go. He spoke quickly, and it stopped suddenly and returned to calm in a few seconds. This time, Zhao Yu was a little confused and didn't remember a word. What the hell is this? Why is there a sound in your head? What's wrong with me? Wait a minute. Suddenly, Zhao Yu remembered the first 4 words, adventure system. Adventure system? Oh. Zhao Yu, who is familiar with the routine, finally remembered that in the crossing plot he knew before, there would be a magical system. With this system, you can achieve anything that makes a great success, pretending to force you to hit your face. Grandma is a bear. I actually got the system? But what exactly does this adventure system do?
Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please support us. Please support us. Please support us.
Since it is a system, there should always be an interface or introduction. But Zhao Yu carefully examined her mind, but she couldn't see anything. Even her words just now couldn't be played back. He slapped his head, but there was still no change. What? This is. The voice spoke too fast just now. He didn't hear it clearly. He only remembered a noun such as divination. He couldn't help thinking, is this so-called adventure system used for drawing lots to calculate divination? Did I draw good or bad? Tut tut. Zhao Yu was somewhat disappointed. If he really got any system, it would be the simplest system in history. He wanted to try a few more mouthfuls of cigarette, but he found that the cigarette had been extinguished when he coughed violently just now. Alas. He searched his memory and found that Zhao Yu in this world had very poor property conditions. He lived in apartment dormitories, ate the police canteen, and his savings didn't even exceed 4 figures. According to the current situation, the salary of being a criminal policeman is his only source of income. Miserable. When he used to wander in the Jianghu, he lived every day with delicacies, abalone ginseng and shark's fin. Although he didn't live in a luxury house, there were often hot spice girls, watching the market in nightclubs. His childhood was uninhibited, natural and happy. In contrast, it seems that the original professional treatment is better, but the degree of danger of fighting and killing every day is much higher than that of being a policeman. Moreover, there are too many villains in this line, and they are easy to be framed to death. He is a living example. Zhao Yu glanced at the memory in her mind and found that the parallel world was not much different from the original world, but it was different in some details. For example, in this city with the same name, there were no place names and people names that Zhao Yu knew before, no familiar guild entrants, and no younger brothers and friends he knew. However, even if there were, those people would not know Zhao Yu because now Zhao Yu is a policeman. Alas. No. Zhao Yu turned her eyes to her eyes. The car is not far from the city's famous red light district. Let's have fun and have a good play first. After the car stopped, Zhao Yu put the taxi driver's pack of cigarettes and lighter into his pocket. When he saw the 29 on the meter, he took out the police officer's card directly. The serious case team handles the case. Thank you for your cooperation. Zhao Yu said with a gloomy face, I've written down your license plate number. Look back and wait for a good citizen certificate. With that, regardless of the driver's blankness on his face, he opened the door and left. In my memory, the original Zhao Yu was an honest child and had never been to such a romantic place for recreation. Now Zhao Yu is an old hand. He knows the fun place. In fact, he doesn't go to the front door. So he turned into a hidden alley and soon saw several young men and women standing in line at the door of a small iron door. Although the small iron door is a little shabby, there is definitely a luxury behind the iron door. Zhao Yu didn't want to line up behind him. He went straight to the door. At the door, a staff member wearing a nose ring and a big waist stopped him. Sir, our bar is membership. Do you have a member? Get out. Zhao Yu simply scolded a word, and spittle even splashed on each other's face. He pushed it away, swaggered open the iron door and went in. In Zhao Yu's cognitive view, some rules do not apply to him. Although the staff member wearing the nose ring was tall, he could not feel the details of Zhao Yu. He could only watch the poor guy disappear into his sight. This is indeed a super luxurious private bar, with colorful lights and beautiful scenery. Many passionate young men and women dressed in flirtatious clothes are shaking their heads on the dance floor. Zhao Yu knows that bars like this type are generally not run by serious businessmen, but by some powerful groups. From property rights to management, they are completely in operation. In the past, when he was in the Jianghu, Zhao Yu covered multiple venues alone. He was familiar with this. He naturally knew that many unknown illegal activities were going on in some dark private rooms of the nightclub. It's easy to catch prisoners. However, today's Zhao Yu is here to have fun. He just wants to solve the problem of his increased male hormones. Looking around, he quickly locked the target. But there was a fair lady lying in front of the bar. Wearing a black and white casual suit, the woman has a plump body, excellent posture and surprisingly attractive appearance. Her cheeks were crimson, and there were several empty goblets in front of her face. It was obvious that she had drunk a lot. Such a woman is generally easy to get started. Zhao Yu secretly rejoices that she should be able to win. Beauty, alone? Before Zhao Yu could sit still, she used the classic language of flirting with her sister. Do you want another drink? I know a fascinating way to mix wine. Are you interested in trying it? The woman looked at Zhao Yu with a kind of playful eyes, hiccuped, and said with a smile, handsome boy, your prologue is out.
Ha! Ha!
I'm not a pure and beautiful girl. I don't play with feelings. Oh. When a woman opens her mouth, Zhao Yu understands her feelings. This fair lady is waiting for business here, not a good girl. Originally, Zhao Yu came to hang her beautiful sister and didn't intend to pay out of her own pocket. He wanted to change his goal, but he was unwilling. First, the woman was so outstanding that he couldn't find anything more attractive than her at the scene. Second, other people are in pairs, so it will be more difficult to chat up. Alas. Zhao Yu's heart crossed and spoke in her heart. If you break some money, you can break some money. Just make a comfortable picture. It's also a celebration of your successful crossing. So he sat beside the woman and continued to tease, Beauty, I don't know your feelings. How much money is it worth? Hum. With a cold hum, the beauty outstretched 3 fingers, true love is priceless. Spend 3,000 nights. Also, I can't go home with you, nor do I go to the Express Hotel. At least I can see a hotel with more than 4 stars. Grandma, a bear. Zhao Yui patted the table, aren't you robbing money? 3,000? 4-star hotel? I'm Nima. I ask you. Can you give me a discount? Handsome boy, look, you are also an expert. The woman said without raising her eyelids, you should know that I can't discount at this price. Have a good time. If you can afford it, we'll leave immediately. You'll be satisfied. If you can't afford to play, get out of the way and don't waste your sister's time. Nima. Zhao Yu looked for her memory and found that all the money in her card was not enough to open a fast hotel. So he scolded the woman fiercely, well, I choose, get out of the way. Who knows, maybe someone heard their conversation. As soon as Zhao Yu dodged, a man in a famous brand suit sat in Zhao Yu's position with a stack of banknotes. Come on, sister. The man chewed gum and patted the money. Man, you don't need money. Shangri-La will fight 300 rounds tonight. How about it? When the woman saw the money, the dark hole in her eyes disappeared and became shining. She pretended to be coquettish, nodded and followed the rich man without hesitation. Before she left, she didn't even have the mind to take a look at Zhao Yu. Zhao Yu was depressed. He clenched his fist and glared at the coquettish men and women to leave. Say in your heart, money worship girl, can't afford to hurt. Who knows, when Zhao Yu stared, he suddenly saw a man on the side of the bar. The man was wearing a black windbreaker with a cap on his head. He pressed his head very low. The collar of the windbreaker was high and even covered most of his face, revealing only 2 gloomy eyes. The man's eyes had never left the money worshipper who had just drunk. Now that the beauty had gone, he watched the woman go, as if he was deeply attracted by her. Because the beauty left behind Zhao Yu looked at him. What are you looking at? Zhao Yu thought he was mocking himself and directly raised his middle finger at him. The man in the windbreaker trembled slightly as if frightened, and immediately left the bar in a panic. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. Zhao Yu ordered the cheapest cocktail and just wanted to satisfy her greed, but an important thing suddenly occurred to her mind. Grandma is a bear. This windbreaker man can't be. Who is that?
Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please support us. Please support us. Please support us.
Is there such a coincidence in the world? Zhao Yu is trying to persuade herself that she is just wishful thinking. There's no reason. His front foot has just finished the meeting to arrest the electric stick rapist, and his back foot can meet the real person of the suspect, right? This probability seems to be smaller than winning the first prize in the lottery. However, Zhao Yu clutched the cocktail in her hand, but she couldn't drink it anyway. Because the man in the windbreaker just now was so suspicious. Cap, head down, eyes gloomy, sneaky. Zhao Yu remembered the case of group leader Chu Ping. The victims of the electric stick rape case were women with lifestyle problems, just in line with the characteristics of the money worship woman just now. In addition, the perpetrator has been caught and his face has been broken, and the man in the windbreaker has been blocking his face with his collar. Isn't it? Is it? Is the man in windbreaker really an electric stick rapist? Thinking of this layer, Zhao Yu can no longer calm down. He felt that even if he really looked away, it was necessary to have a look with him. So he put down his glass and quickly ran after the man in the windbreaker. The exit of the bar, like the entrance, is a small iron door. After chasing out, Zhao Yu came directly to a deep and narrow roadway. It was very late at night, and the roadway was silent. Zhao Yu glanced at both sides of the roadway. By the bright moonlight, he suddenly found that a figure flashed quickly at the end of the right side of the roadway.
Yeah.
Zhao Yu was stunned for a moment and felt more and more suspicious. He hurried in that direction. Tracking and chasing people were routine for Zhao Yu in the past. He not only ran fast, but also had very light hands and feet. He wouldn't make any movement during his actions. The place where the dark shadow turned just now is another narrow and dark roadway, and the end of the roadway leads to the parking lot. When Zhao Yu passed a green trash can, she saw a man lying on the ground. This man was the rich man who had just taken away the money worship woman. But seeing him lying on his back, he was already unconscious. Grandma is a bear. Zhao Yu was extremely shocked. Looking at the man's stiff body, he was probably put down by an electric stick. Since the man was electrocuted, what about the woman? Zhao Yu looked down into the darkness. Although she didn't see anything, she heard a rustling sound at a corner in front of her. I'm so tired. Really? Zhao Yu was a little nervous. He looked left and right and found a wooden stick thrown next to the trash can. He copied it into his hand. He crept to the corner and took a look at his head. He was surprised to see the man in the windbreaker in the bar playing something on the ground. Take a closer look, the money worship woman has also been electrocuted to the ground, and the windbreaker man is hastily picking up her clothes. Zhao Yu stared wide-eyed. There was no doubt that the scene in front of him had explained everything. The electric baton rapist that the police were struggling to catch appeared in front of him. All right, boy. You're unlucky to meet your grandpa Zhao today. I want to do harm for the people. It's Zhao Yu's housekeeping skill to hit a stick. He rushed over with an arrow. Before the man in the windbreaker reacted, he swung a stick on the back of his head. Zhao Yu's strength is not small. When he goes down with a stick, his strength is very fierce. Just listen to a click, the stick is broken in two. The man in the windbreaker didn't expect a sneak attack behind him. He jumped up and stared at Zhao Yu with evil eyes, while the electric stick in his hand crackled. It can't be true. This time, Zhao Yu was also silly. She stared at the man in windbreaker and wondered, isn't it? It's all right. This guy practiced bell jar iron underpants? Who knows, the man in the windbreaker just stared at Zhao Yu for 2 seconds, and his white eyes turned out. As the soles of his feet softened, the whole man fell to the ground and fainted. Who? Zhao Yu took a breath and quickly took out her mobile phone. An hour later, Zhao Yuzhong returned to the police office. At this time, the office is more lively than before, and the agents are all nervously waiting for the comparison results. Li Bainey blinked her big cute eyes and pointed her thumb at Zhao Yu, senior brother, you are so powerful. Caught the criminal alone. So, what did you just say about asking for leave? It's all a cover-up? To be honest, did you find out about the criminal long ago? I don't know why. Zhao Yu doesn't have any feelings for a cute sister like Li Bainey. Maybe she has a bad figure, is she too young and looks ordinary? Seeing that she kept talking, Zhao Yu was a little upset and said, can you make me another cup of coffee? Okay. Okay. Li Bainey ran to the tea room eagerly. At this time, Lu Chenghu said from a distance, don't think too beautiful. It's not certain whether you really caught the criminal. If you are a good citizen, someone will have to go away. This was obviously read to Zhao Yu, but at this time, Zhao Yu was very sleepy and didn't bother to talk to him. Who knows, before Lu Chenghu's voice fell, group leader Chu Ping ran in excitedly and said loudly, comrades, the result came out. The blood and urine matched perfectly, and the electric stick model matched. Now it can be concluded that this person is the perpetrator of the electric stick rape case. The case is solved. Hearing this, there was a clear clapping sound in the office. Some were happy, some were excited and some were jealous, but people's eyes inevitably turned to Zhao Yu. An hour ago, Zhao Yu had a big fight with the vice captain about asking for leave, but no one could imagine that the person who solved the case quickly was Zhao Yu. People turned to wonder, do not know this Zhao Yu, in the end is what method to catch the murderer.
Yeah.
Great, Officer Zhao. Li Bainey put the prepared coffee in front of Zhao Yu and praised excitedly, congratulations, you have paid a bonus. Don't forget to treat Bonus? Zhao Yu recalled. Sure enough, there was a rule in the police force that police officers who directly caught criminals could get corresponding cash rewards according to the situation. In addition, it will be recorded in the credit book, which will be of great benefit to future promotion or assessment. Catch criminals and make money? Good deed. Good deed. Zhao Yuyang picked up the corner of his mouth and picked Vice Captain Liu with his eyes. Lu Chenghu's face was not good-looking. After being picked by Zhao Yu, he simply crossed his arms and stopped making a sound. The electric stick used by the suspect was modified by himself. The voltage is as high as 300,000 volts, which can cause people to faint instantly. Group leader Chu Ping said the suspect's name has not been found out. He only knows that he is a high school student and may have dropped out of school. Due to serious injuries, the suspect is now under guard in the hospital intensive care unit and cannot be interrogated for the time being. Xiao Zhao, you were really a little cruel. What? Am I cruel? As you said, can I be cruel with a 300,000 volt electric stick? Zhao Yu said unjustifiably, if I don't knock him out, I'll go away. The doctor said, you stupid stick, it's estimated that he'll have 2 or 3 days to regain consciousness. Chu Ping smiled and didn't mean to blame Zhao Yu. Instead, she asked Lu Chenghu for instructions. Vice Captain, I have to arrange someone to go to the hospital to guard by shift tonight. Please arrange it. Lu Chenghu nodded, but his eyes were bright. He rushed to Zhao Yu and said, okay, Xiao Zhao, you caught the man. Then tonight, you'll work hard and go to the hospital to guard the suspect? Aha. Zhao Yugen didn't pay attention to him, but stretched his waist and said lazily, I'm tired. You love who? People are caught by you. I have to sleep well. Aha. You. Lu Chenghu was so angry that his nose was crooked. Zhao Yu, this is the police force. The police force has the discipline of the police force. What's your attitude? What's the matter? It's arrogant to catch the criminal? I see. You're a blind cat. You met a dead mouse. What's your look? By the way, before, who said he didn't want to be a policeman? Who? Lu Chenghu was elated, but suddenly saw Zhao Yu reach out and grab the cup of coffee. He shouted bad, hurried back like a conditioned reflex, and even buried his head behind the small partition. Who knows, Zhao Yu just took a comfortable sip after quickly picking up the glass, and didn't mean to hit him. As a result, Lu Chenghu, hiding behind the table, was even more embarrassed. Zhao Yu wanted to ridicule him again, but after a mouthful of coffee, a clear voice suddenly sounded in her mind. This adventure has been completed, degree of completion, 75%. Congratulations, you have obtained an invisible prop, please check it.
Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please support us. Please support us. Please support us.
It's ringing again. It's ringing again. Zhao Yu was surprised and wanted to listen carefully, but the voice suddenly came and went happily. Unexpectedly, there was no more movement. Reward. Zhao Yu remembers the word reward. Reward, reward, where is it? He just thought like this. A virtual picture suddenly popped up in his mind, but he saw a small black ball painted on the picture, which was still a three-dimensional 3D image. Zhao Yu subconsciously paused for a moment, and the voice in her head suddenly sounded, invisible eavesdropper. Disposable consumer products. After use, it can realize the invisible eavesdropping function. It is invisible and will not be detected by any instrument. The duration is 48 hours. What? What? Zhao Yu listened vaguely and hurriedly ordered again. As a result, the voice in the brain repeated the introduction of the invisible bug again. Officer Zhao, I still put 2 packets of sugar in this cup of coffee. Seeing Zhao Yu so distracted, Li Beinei thought she was tasting coffee with her heart. Zhao Yu returned to her senses and felt that the environment here was noisy. She wanted to find a quiet place to think about it. Therefore, he no longer considered Lu Chonghu's attack, ignored Li Beinei, and lifted his legs and left the office. Who knows, as soon as he went out, he met Captain Jin Zhenbong head-on. Zhao Yu had no friendship with the captain, so he wanted to walk away with his head down. Unexpectedly, Captain Jin stopped him and asked. Zhao Yu, didn't you say you wanted to ask for leave? Why did you catch the suspect again? Captain Kim said seriously, I don't understand. How do you know that the suspect will appear in that place tonight? Kim, I'm really uncomfortable today. Can I talk to you in detail another day? Zhao Yu said he was leaving again, but Captain Jin suddenly patted him on the shoulder and said meaningfully, Xiao Zhao, anyway, if we can catch the criminal, we can live up to the police uniform we wear. Well done. Continue to work hard in the future. Captain Jin's words stunned Zhao Yu, because in his memory, the fierce captain rarely praised anyone. What happened today? Captain Jin said and walked into the office. As soon as he entered, there came Lu Chonghu's malicious complaint. Zhao Yu didn't want to argue anymore and went straight back to her apartment. It's an apartment. In fact, it's a small duty room behind the office building. It's small. 3 people have to squeeze into a room. There's no independent bathroom. Zhao Yu's roommates are 2 colleagues from the security department. The young one is better, but the old one snores when he sleeps. It's really a headache. Fortunately, the one who snored today went to the night shift, otherwise Zhao Yu must have another sleepless night. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and it's almost dawn. Zhao Yu went back to her apartment and didn't groom. She took off her shoes and went to bed to make up for her sleep. However, the strange experience of this night was destined to make him unable to sleep. He was executed by lethal injection, a sudden crossing, a change of identity, a mysterious system, and received props, all of which overwhelmed him and couldn't digest. Especially the mysterious adventure system. Zhao Yu felt that it was not a coincidence that he caught the electric stick rapist like Lucky Luck, but the reason of the adventure system. Perhaps, after the adventure system was started, what had changed so that Zhao Yu met the criminal? After the completion, the system also tells him that the completion rate is more than 70%. This completion rate may refer to the degree of completing the adventure task. If he didn't choose to follow the windbreaker man in the bar and catch the criminal, would the completion of this adventure be greatly reduced? In other words, no matter how many coincidences the adventure system has arranged for him, whether he can finally grasp these coincidences and complete the adventure depends on himself. Zhao Yu was excited at the thought of this floor. With this adventure system, can similar cases be solved as magically as today? Wow! If so, won't I become an expert in solving cases in the future? The bonus is big. Thinking, he gradually fell asleep. In fact, it's not easy to be a criminal policeman. Don't pay attention to the fact that the case team worked all night yesterday, but today most people still need to go to work on time and can't ask for leave at will. Because there will be new cases at any time, they must ensure that every case can be seen here. Zhao Yu suddenly felt on a whim that she was really imprisoned in such a place. Why don't you go out and rent a house today? In the past, Zhao Yu used to live in the police station dormitory, so those senior agents asked Zhao Yu to work overtime as soon as they had anything to do, which was very excessive. If you take the opportunity to leave here, you can naturally reduce the arrangement in this regard. In addition, Zhao Yu is not quite used to her new identity. Even if she goes to work, she always feels very uncomfortable if she has to live in the police station. After going to the toilet, she began to wash. Zhao Yu didn't bother to straighten her hair, so she walked towards the police station building. He doesn't want to go to work to report, but wants to use the office computer to find out where there is a house for rent. Walking upstairs, he met several policemen who were smoking. When he smelled the smoke, Zhao Yu's addiction to smoking again. So he stopped at the corner of the stairs and lit the cigarette seized from the taxi driver last night in his mouth again. However, there was no improvement this time. He coughed violently with just one puff. As a result, in the midst of a violent cough, the clear and crisp voice in my brain suddenly sounded again. Adventure system starts, and I'm randomly choosing divination for you. Shit. This time, Zhao Yu was prepared. As soon as he heard the sound, he immediately focused on his mind and carefully remembered every word exchanged. Sunghua. Duzexin wind. Go with the wind and water, live and work in peace and contentment, run heaven and earth, and succeed in Kanyu. With these words, the voice stopped suddenly. Although Zhao Yu has worked hard to remember, she still doesn't remember much. I only remember the words, Dui Sunghua, and Shunfeng Shun Shui. Especially, the 4 words in the back make Zhao Yu feel very comfortable. It seems that this divination should be chosen well. However, although he did not understand it, he instinctively thought of the 8 trigrams of the Book of Changes. Can it be said that this adventure system operates according to the 8 trigrams theory? In that case, you have to study it carefully in the future. In case of bad divination, you can be mentally prepared.
Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please like and subscribe our channel. Please support us. Please support us. Please support us.